The wisdom of contradictions, science of happiness. Welcome to my way. Subscribe to join us. Imagine standing at the edge of a forest at dawn. The light is not fully day, yet the darkness is no longer night. It is something in between, a quiet meeting of opposites. And strangely, this moment feels whole, but our minds rarely allow such ambiguity. From childhood, we are trained to divide the world into categories: right or wrong, success or failure, strong or weak, good or bad. Binary thinking is comfortable. It simplifies a world that is otherwise overwhelmingly complex. But what if this way of seeing the world is not wisdom, but limitation? Today we are going to explore a profound idea shared by neuroscience, philosophy, Taoism, and Buddhism. The idea that reality is fundamentally dual, and yet unified. That contradictions are not errors in the system. They are the system. And learning to live with this paradox may be one of the most important psychological skills we can develop. Part 1. The brain's obsession with certainty. Let's start with the brain. Your brain is not designed to see reality clearly. It is designed to survive. From a neuroscientific perspective, the brain is a prediction machine. It constantly simplifies information to make fast decisions. Ambiguity is expensive. Certainty is efficient. So the brain builds shortcuts: friend or enemy, safe or dangerous, success or failure. This binary thinking once helped our ancestors survive predators, conflicts, and scarcity. But the modern world is not the savannah. Most of our problems today are not solved by quick decisions. They require nuance: relationships, identity, meaning, ethics, creativity. These domains are inherently contradictory, yet our brains keep trying to force them into simple boxes, and when reality refuses to cooperate, we experience anxiety, frustration, or confusion. But what if confusion is not a flaw? What if confusion is actually the beginning of deeper understanding? Part 2. The ancient insight of Taoism. More than 2,500 years ago, Taoist philosophers already understood something that modern cognitive science is only beginning to rediscover. They called it yin and yang. Most people think yin and yang represent opposites: light and dark, masculine and feminine, activity and stillness. But that interpretation is incomplete. The true insight is deeper. Yin and yang are not enemies. They are interdependent processes. Day becomes night. Strength emerges from vulnerability. Movement arises from stillness. Each contains the seed of the other. The famous symbol shows this beautifully: a white dot inside the black and a black dot inside the white. The message is radical. Opposites do not cancel each other. They generate each other. Without difficulty, growth would not exist. Without uncertainty, curiosity would not exist. Without suffering, compassion would not exist. Life is not balanced by removing opposites. Life is balanced through their interaction. Part 3. Buddhism and the Middle Way. Buddhism arrived at a similar conclusion through a different path. The Buddha observed that humans suffer largely because they cling to extremes. We cling to pleasure. We reject discomfort. We cling to identity. We reject change. But reality is constantly shifting, so our attempt to freeze the world into stable categories inevitably creates suffering. The Buddha proposed something revolutionary: the middle way, not compromise, not mediocrity, but the ability to hold paradox without collapsing into extremes. You can be strong and vulnerable, confident and uncertain, independent and deeply connected. These are not contradictions. They are dimensions of a complete human life. Part 4. The neuroscience of inner conflict. Modern neuroscience offers fascinating support for this ancient wisdom. Your brain is not a single unified voice. It is a conversation between multiple systems. For example, one part of your brain seeks safety and stability. Another part seeks novelty and exploration. One system pushes you toward comfort, another toward growth. This internal tension is not a malfunction. It is the architecture of intelligence. If the stability system dominated completely, you would never change. If the exploration system dominated completely, you would take reckless risks. Wisdom emerges from the dynamic balance between these competing drives. Your inner contradictions are not signs of weakness. They are signs that your brain is functioning exactly as it should. Part 5. Real-life example. Career choices. Let's make this concrete. Imagine someone choosing a career. Part of them wants security, a stable job, predictable income, safety. Another part wants passion, meaning, creativity, impact. These two desires often feel incompatible. So people believe they must choose one identity. I am practical, or I am a dreamer. But this is a false dilemma. Many fulfilling lives emerge precisely from holding both tensions. Someone may work a stable job while building a creative project, or build a meaningful career slowly while protecting financial stability. The solution rarely lies at one extreme. It lies in navigating the space between them. Part 6. Relationships and emotional duality. Relationships reveal this duality even more clearly. We want intimacy, but we also want independence. We want to be understood, but we also want to remain mysterious. We want stability, but we also crave excitement. Many relationship conflicts arise because we believe these desires contradict each other, but in reality, they are both essential. Healthy relationships are not about eliminating tension. They are about learning to dance with it. Closeness and distance, freedom and commitment. These are rhythms, not problems. Part 7. The creativity of contradiction. Interestingly, some of the most creative minds in history embrace contradictions. Great thinkers often held seemingly incompatible ideas at the same time. The psychologist Carl Jung once wrote, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function." Creativity happens at the intersection of opposites, logic and imagination, discipline and play, structure and chaos. Innovation is rarely born from certainty. It is born from tension. Part 8. The personal struggle with duality. Now think about your own life. Maybe you feel torn between ambition and peace, between independence and belonging, between who you are and who you could become. It can feel uncomfortable, but perhaps the discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. Perhaps it is the signal that you are alive inside the paradox of being human. You are not meant to resolve every contradiction. You are meant to learn from it. Part 9. A practical way to live with paradox. So how do we actually live this wisdom? Here are 3 simple practices. First, when you feel inner conflict, resist the urge to immediately choose a side. Instead ask, what is each part of me trying to protect? Second, look for integration instead of victory. Not which side is right, but how can both perspectives inform my decision? Third, accept that some tensions are permanent. Growth and comfort, freedom and belonging, security and adventure. These are not puzzles to solve once. They are forces you will navigate for your entire life. In the end, wisdom may not come from finding absolute answers. It may come from becoming comfortable in the gray zones of existence, where strength meets vulnerability, where certainty meets curiosity, where opposites reveal themselves not as enemies, but as partners. Just like dawn, neither night nor day, yet somehow the most beautiful moment of both. Perhaps life itself is exactly that, a continuous meeting of contradictions. And learning to live within that paradox may be the deepest form of peace we can find. If this idea resonates with you, Take a moment today to notice the contradictions within yourself. They may not be flaws. They may be the very forces shaping who you are becoming. I hope you enjoyed this video, full of powerful insights. See you next time on My Way.